I get it, you're standing in the kitchen, staring at a stack of empty trays, wondering if you should finally splurge on an under-counter ice maker or keep borrowing a bag of ice from the grocery store. You don't want to waste money on a unit that ends up gathering dust, and you're looking for proof that this one will actually make life easier in your specific situation. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Scotsman Undercounter small cube packs a lot of punch for its size. It can churn out up to 329 pounds of ice per day and stores 110 pounds in its built-in bin, which translates to roughly 1,620 pounds of cube ice every hour. That's more than enough to keep a home bar stocked for a weekend party, or to keep a small office break room running smoothly without a constant trip to the freezer. What matters most, though, is whether that production capacity lines up with how you actually use ice. If you're the type who entertains a crowd of friends every few weeks, the daily output is a genuine advantage. Picture a Friday night, you're mixing cocktails for 10 people, and the ice never runs out because the machine is silently working in the cabinet. The bins refill themselves, and you never have to scramble for extra trays. For a small family that only needs ice for occasional drinks or a few frozen desserts a month, the same capacity might feel a little excessive, but it also means you'll never have to worry about the unit running low during a surprise gathering. The under-counter design is where the Scotsman really tries to win points. It slides neatly into a standard 30-inch cabinet space, leaving the countertop free for prep work. In my experience, fitting an ice maker under a counter often means dealing with awkward dimensions, but this model's footprint is deliberately compact. If your kitchen layout already includes a pantry or a dedicated cabinet for a dishwasher, you can usually slot this unit in without major renovations. The only thing you need to plan for is a nearby water line and a drain, which is standard for any under-counter appliance. Installation is fairly straightforward if you have a plumber on standby. The unit comes with quick connect fittings for water and a built-in pump that pushes water up to the ice maker, so you don't need to drill holes in the countertop. Many users report that the whole process takes a couple of hours, assuming you already have the space set aside. If you're a DIY enthusiast, the instructions are clear enough to follow, but if you're uncomfortable working with water connections, budgeting for a professional install is wise. One of the practical strengths that often gets overlooked is the ice control interface. Scotsman built a small display that tells you when the bin is full, when the machine is in a cleaning cycle, and even lets you pause production if you're running low on water. In a real-world kitchen, that means you won't be caught off guard by a sudden overflow or a sudden stop in ice production. You can glance at the display while you're chopping vegetables and know exactly what's happening without having to open the cabinet. On the flip side, the noise level is something you'll notice the first time you turn the unit on. Because it's producing ice continuously, there's a low hum and occasional click as the cutter blades engage. In a small apartment, that sound can travel into the living area, especially if the cabinet is directly adjacent to a dining space. For a commercial setting or a larger home where the kitchen is separated, the noise is less of an issue. If you're planning to install it near a sleeping area, you might want to consider adding some acoustic padding around the cabinet. Maintenance is another realistic consideration. The ice maker has a self-cleaning cycle that runs on a schedule, but you still need to decale the water line periodically, especially if you have hard water. The bin and the internal chute are accessible, so you can wipe them down with a soft cloth. That said, the cleaning process isn't something you can completely forget about. Neglecting it can lead to cloudy ice or, worse, a buildup that reduces production efficiency. If you're okay with a quarterly routine, the upkeep is manageable. If you prefer a set-and-forget solution with minimal attention, you might find the maintenance demands a bit higher than you'd like. Pricing for under-counter ice makers can vary widely, and Scotsman sits on the higher end of the spectrum. That price tag is justified by the brand's reputation for reliability and the heavy-duty components that allow it to produce a large volume of ice consistently. For a homeowner who values durability and plans to keep the unit for years, the investment makes sense. For someone who only needs a backup source of ice for occasional use, a countertop model or even a portable ice bin might deliver sufficient performance at a lower cost. Who should definitely consider this Scotsman? Think of small to medium hospitality operations, a boutique coffee shop that serves iced drinks, a